But yeah, to do a callback. So, Anthony, what did you learn that you did wrong at that movie theater to get covered in popcorn?
I I didn't do anything wrong.
He
There
picked
was
the wrong
nothing to
seat. He
learn.
picked the
Pick the
wrong
wrong
seat.
seat. You never pick B-15. Now you know.
That was true bad luck. Like true bad luck right there. Like there was nothing I could have done differently. Like
Wear a poncho. You know, come
yeah,
on.
wear a
I
poncho
go
at
to
the
every
movie
movie with
theater.
ponchos now. Ever since what was it? 50 Shades of Grey was in theaters. I go to every movie with a poncho now.
What?
He's, he's making a wet joke.
What happened in 50 Shades of Grey that you have to wear a poncho now? Oh my goodness.
And the ears are bolts and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
I mean,
It looks evil.
some dolls are massive, and it's amazing. It's amazing what you can find at a auction house or whatever it's called. I forget. Not an auction house. Glorified yard sale. What are those
And
places called again, Orc?
antique stores,
Antique stores. Yeah, because I'm stupid. Okay.
vintage stores, antique stores, thrift stores, the sorts.
Yeah.
Various names depending on what they're doing. However, antique store is also commonly associated with antique furniture store.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to go into like Google Maps or type up antique stores nearby, you may not find so much of one that's a thrift store as much as one that's like we refurbish your furniture, your Victorian style china cabinet
But
and stuff like that.
you just have to get lucky if that's in your area, though, right? Or you have to just do a lot of research to find something.
Yeah,
Is it luck based to go shopping, or is it just like a bunch of research and waiting and sometimes making a request to see if anything's in the area?
I personally never go look out for anything. I never call ahead and say what do you have, especially since a lot of antique stores and thrift stores don't have it categorized in a database. When you go to check out, they take the tag, they type in the vendor code, they'll write out the vendor code in a brief, like 3 word description. It's like Scooby Doo vase, as opposed, and that's just how they write it out for their own records of what was sold. Um,
Yeah.
so it's hard to say, do you have this in advance, unless you see it on their website. Some of them do online auctions, in which case you can get lucky there if you jump in and find the especially with the pandemic, they turn to online auctions like every Thursday, every Saturday, and you can get lucky at those things if you get to the right one. But they don't go through the whole inventory. They just pick a booth or a couple.
Yeah, it's interesting what you can find because I've gone with you a few times. Have you ever gone, Anthony, to found anything exciting that you weren't expecting? Antique shopping, thrift stores. Do you go often?
I don't go often. So I typically don't like just randomly spending money either. So well, actually, when I moved here, I went to Goodwill to get like some decorations for my apartment,
Yeah.
and I ended up finding like pictures that matched things that I have in my apartment.
I thought you meant like you found pictures of your family and you're like, oh, how cute. Like,
No, like my patio set, which I'm actually using as my kitchen table right now. It's a marble patio set
oh,
with like fancy bronze like wiring on the
trim.
chairs.
Yeah.
And I found a painting in Goodwill that has a chair in the painting that matches the chair in my apartment.
that's that's
So,
interesting.
so I had to get it, obviously, and I have it hanging right next to the chair in my dining area.
That's that's very cool. That was in the same store?
No, different
Different
stores.
store. Okay.
I
Okay.
already had the patio set, and then I went to the store and found that painting, and I'm like, wow, I have to have it because it
Yeah,
looks
that's
exactly like what I already have.
Now,
interesting.
just got to follow up. Is this like the most basic mass-produced tier of products out there, and there's just a painting of it, or is this something?
No, it's not a mass-produced product. I actually got it from
Okay, just making sure.
Kmart when Kmart was going out of business a long time ago, and it was originally like $600, $700 for the set. I remember I got it for like 250, and it's not mass-produced. I have never since found another patio set like this ever. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of mass-produced, I guess, at the time, but I've yet to come across anything like it since.
Interesting. Well, I think that's a good segue for the intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Pineapple Podcast. I am one of your hosts today, Dean, joined by my fellow co-host Oric and Anthony. Say hi, gentlemen. You've already talked.
Hi, gentlemen.
Hey,
Today we're kind of talking about not antique shopping, but luck, coincidences, maybe karma if we get into that kind of stuff. Just weird happenstances. How sometimes you'll be thinking about something and your friends that you haven't talked to in a couple months are also thinking about you. Is that luck, coincidence, some weird entity pulling on your heartstrings? What's going on? Is that right, gentlemen?
wait, so my speaker just cut out. You said coincidence of people like thinking of each other at the same time?
Yeah. Isn't that, I mean, that is a coincidence. Is that luck? Like, hey, let's reconnect if it
How
works
are
out.
you, what is happening that like it verifies the coincidence? Like, are y'all calling at the same time, or like what happened?
You haven't had those instances before,
What if
where
you
so
like you randomly got a text from someone and you were thinking about them a week earlier, like let's say an old
Oh,
high
I've
school
had that
friend?
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had
And
that
it's like
happen
I
quite a
was
bit.
literally thinking about you this week. Didn't talk to you at all. Didn't see any pictures of you. Just randomly was like, "Oh yeah, I remember I had class with this guy," and they made this comment. And like a week later, they send you a message like, "Yo, Anthony, how you been, man? Been like 4 years. How's it been?" Repeatedly that stuff.
how's it hanging?
Yeah, is it hanging
If
lower than
someone
typical?
reached out after 4 years, I'd be a little concerned,
But that's not what I
especially
mean.
if I thought about them the prior week. But yeah, no, I get it. I've actually called like family and one of my friends that I've known most of my whole life, like phones. Imagine calling someone and the phone not even ring.
Because they're just like, oh, I got a phone call right away. Just
So, like, you call them and your phone immediately connects to their phone. You don't even hear a ring, and you're both sitting there on the phone quiet until out of nowhere you're like, "Hello?"
oh,
And they're
someone
like,
answered. Yeah,
"Hello?"
it's not a robocall.
I've had that happen before. It's great.
Like
You
that is
gotta
the
savor the awkwardness. You just gotta let it linger for a moment.
that was the most weird shit. And they're like, "Well, I called you." And I was like, "Well, I called you and we called at the exact same time to the point our phones connected at the exact same time." That is some weird shit. Like that's almost like is that meant to be? And then I've also had where I was about to call someone and then my phone rings with a text from them, with family members. Many, many times. It's just crazy. And I think the craziest time that I had was with a family member. I randomly texted them.
Mm-hmm.
They were away at school, and I randomly texted them and I was like, "Hey, where you at? I'm here at your school," just to screw with them. And they were like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm at the McDonald's across from your dorm. Where are you at?" And then the call got quiet because they ended up calling me like right away when I said that.
Yeah,
And when I said that I'm at the McDonald's across from your dorm, it got very quiet.
and
And
then
I was like, "Hello?
and
What?"
then you felt a tap on your shoulder.
No, I wasn't I was never there. I mean, I wasn't there,
Yeah.
but, like, I immediately was like, "Hello," and the person goes, "Yeah, I'm looking for you." I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, I'm at the McDonald's." Like, "You said you see me?" I told them I saw them, like, turn around, and they were like, "I'm looking for you." And I was like, "Hold up, I'm not even there." And they were like, "What?" I was like, "I was just calling to screw with you."
Yeah, and you screwed with them
Now
pretty
you're
strong. They're doing like 180 head spins.
And yeah, but they were actually there, and that
Yeah.
was the creepiest mess. Like, I was just sitting in my room, and out of nowhere, I thought to myself, about this family member. We're very close, and I was like, "I wanna talk to them." And I just randomly played that joke, but it's so weird, it's almost as if I knew exactly where they were.
Yeah, that's just an that's a I would call that a coincidence. You know,
It is
you're like, what are
weird.
the
Yeah, I mean,
odds? And it came out true.
I've strongly believe, like, animals, like, send off frequencies, like dolphins and all that stuff to
Hmm.
communicate in different things. I
Yeah.
strongly believe there's a frequency that even, like, humans can connect
Oh,
to. Like,
conspiracy
there ain't
time. Conspiracy time.
Yes, like,
aliens.
I really think there's a frequency that when you're on the same wavelength, it's like when, the old saying, "We're on the same wavelength." I think that's a real thing.
I need to look it
Like,
up what the conspiracy is called, but keep talking. It's
but
there's a yeah, there's a name for it.
There's been studies into that. I think I know what you're referencing.
But there has to be because some things are too coincidental for there not to be some sort of like frequency or connection. If we found it in animals, I wouldn't be surprised if we at some level have that as well.
I don't have them in front of me, but from what I recall, some of those studies or articles that I'm talking about usually refer to the fact that like external stimuli can cause people to associate the world. They can to relate to each other and kind of pick up on the same cues and actually be on that same wavelength just because they're in that survival instinct. So in
Well,
that
but if
sense, that's what I'm thinking of. But I know you're
Oh yeah,
talking about
in
something
that
else.
sense, that's more natural coincidence.
Yeah,
But in the sense that you're in two totally different places, not around the same stimuli or anything,
exactly. Yeah.
it is a whole nother level of like, oh, we're on the same wavelength type thing.
Yeah. I forget exactly what the name of that conspiracy is, but you basically defined it where we all share a collective subconscious and we're not aware of it, but that's why you or a lot of people could be thinking the same thing at the same time and they're like, "Oh, let's turn on this channel right now real quick," or let's all go to the library for
Or
something for because it's like, "Oh, why do I want to go to the library? Why do I have a sudden urge to go to the library at 4 p.m. on a Thursday? Let's go." Like more so back in the day, but
yeah.
something like
And
that
I
or
think
or like when you
another
like the high school thing where you connect where you and that random person randomly like, "Hey, I was thinking about you this last week. Didn't see any pictures of you. You just came across my mind. How you doing?"
yeah,
It's not like you accidentally saw them when going through a scrapbook or whatever. It's like, "Oh, yeah, I had a class with this dude for some reason." Um,
yeah. Another coincidence I've had is like years ago, I came up with this idea. It's something I would invent, engineer, whatever.
okay.
And then a few years later, I see this thing on TV that shows a big breakthrough in science
Okay.
and like space travel. And I look at the design of what they showed, and
Yeah.
it looked exactly like what I had designed years prior, worked the same exact way that I had designed my thing.
Did you by
And
chance have anything saved electronically or on the internet
I
somewhere,
have a
even in a
drawing. I actually have a sketchbook drawing that I pulled out like years later and like looked at it and I'm like, wow.
because if there's a digital copy, there's always a chance maybe it got stolen and spread around or
Oh no,
accidentally.
it wasn't a digital copy. It was a freehand on a
Oh,
sketchbook.
oh, okay, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, like it really honestly that day it made me mad. And I had this it came up like a year ago now, but I had designed it when I was younger. And what's funny is I had written out exactly how it would work in terminology that I then was using. Like, I didn't have the true technical terms for it, but put enough description that like when you're younger, you don't know all the technical terms.
Yeah, of
Like I
course.
did, this is something I designed in like middle school or high school,
Yeah.
and like I didn't know the technical terms for different physics or different things that go behind this item working. So, but I put enough description written out that it defined exactly like it was what I saw on the TV a year ago, a new breakthrough. And that's crazy. And it makes you go back. It's almost like everything that's going to be invented is already being invented or is in the mind of someone else in the world
That's oh,
right now at the same time.
that's like how I think it's the microscope and other scientific technologies were created at the same time, countries apart, without any communication. And it's like, how? Why? Both these people
Yeah.
working on it for like exactly 12 years, and all of a sudden they both have a version of it that works. Um,
Yeah, it's the same thing with the light bulb and electricity. There were people around the world coming up with similar things, but yet they had never spoken.
yeah. And they come up with similar designs or ideas. I mean, obviously with like science, when you're working with physics and laws of mathematics, you're within confines of like what you can actually do. You can't just like, you know, do whatever you want, and it has to obey physics. So it kind of structures some of the ideas in engineering, but just some of these connections of how people never communicating, even like across continents, like coming up with the same type of like designs for buildings or architecture without concrete. Like obviously pyramids are examples, but even just general like irrigation systems or uh, housing structures, and materials, mixing stuff the same way, or religions and how they believe certain things look or behave. That's where this whole subconscious theory, shared consciousness, comes in, where it's like, yeah, everyone around the same time is like thinking or feeling the same thing, and everyone can tap into that. That's
Yeah.
just one of those conspiracy theories, and it's obviously near impossible to prove without extreme testing somehow. But that's what they argue a lot, like especially with ancient times. But you're talking like sometimes gaps of hundreds of years, and they come up with the same stuff, which is still interesting. But even modern day, um, I don't know, that is very fascinating just to think about, just as a thought experiment. Because, like you said,
Yeah.
animals can do that. Like dolphins and some flocks of birds and stuff will share frequencies that only they can pick up. And like dolphins communicate with different echo frequencies and sound. Obviously, we communicate with sound, but um, dolphins emit another type of energy, I think, so they can share thoughts. I forget what documentary, but I believe there's actual testing going on to show that dolphins can share thoughts, like mind read with each other, and that's just based off the energy they're emitting. So if that is true, why can't other animals do it?
Yeah.
Maybe animals with larger frontal cortexes. I don't know.
Someone with a big head, big forehead.
A lot of hot air. Yeah. Stop describing
Um,
me.
yeah, I was about to say, sounds like all of us.
So, with that idea in mind, do you believe in luck? Or do you think everything is just destiny or planned and it's going to happen the way it happens? Do you think everything is working within confines of physics and laws, or do you think luck is real?
I think I don't believe in luck in the terms of, oh, you just got lucky.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a such thing as fate in a pathway through life that's already predefined, and it's up to us to kind of find that higher path or goal.
Okay.
Um,
I think the one of the phrases or something is like, luck is just a mix of people that are prepared and an opportunity presents itself. So it's like you've
yeah,
taken the steps beforehand, and it's like, oh, when an opportunity is available, you're like, hey, I can do this now.
yeah,
So
it's being
recognize the
at the right
opportunity
time,
and
right
act on it.
place.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So I think a lot of people like that phrasing for luck. I'm kind of along that same mindset. I don't think luck just happens. I think something in your life has set you up to where when certain opportunities present themselves, whether you plan to or not, items A, B, or C may happen, and so therefore it could all be simulated with the most advanced simulations in the world, but it's not luck. But we perceive it as luck because we can't factor all those variables at once. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your neural networks, your brain can't process everything and keep cognizant of everything going on in and around you at all times. It only keeps track of what's needed for survival and for the next few steps forward. So that's where the perception of luck comes from. Is there's something you're not seeing
Yeah,
going
short
on that
term focus stuff. Yeah.
you could be aware, but you just aren't. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I would say I may not per se believe in luck, as in you were in the right place at the right time, but for lack of a better phrase, I do believe there's some people that they have a higher likelihood of succumbing to bad luck than others more often than
Yep.
others.
I believe that.
Some
I
people are just
believe.
born to have less good fortune than others.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I would agree with that, but then that goes against like the whole: is that fate, or is that just like, is that luck as a general definition, or is that like planned ahead of time? Is that just they're
Well,
just destined for that?
That's just
if we're going with the
perpetual
definition
bad
of
luck.
right, if we're going with the definition of being in the right place at the right time is good luck, then being at the wrong place at the right time would be bad luck. So just using that
Or
for
would you just
conversation's sake.
call it luck?
Well, yeah,
Because
is luck opposite or independent of fate? Like fate / destiny, it's gonna happen, or you're gonna get there eventually, whatever it is. Whereas luck seems like something that wasn't supposed to happen,
Luck is
or it was
perception
extremely
based.
unlikely to happen, and you got the benefits of it.
I would say luck is more perception based. It's internalized by someone to be seen as lucky, as
Yeah.
opposed to fate, which anyone if you have a sequence of events and it's fate driven, people can sit there and go, oh, well, if anyone was in that situation, they could have foreseen what was next, or in hindsight could have predicted this. Um, so I'd argue they're different on that regard.
Okay.
I don't. I
Anthony, your thoughts? Sorry, don't mean to keep
like
cutting you off.
in considering good and bad luck. I still think it's like the path or the fate, because if you think about it, they're both very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone who considers it good luck is someone who was in the right place at the right time, who was able to make use of it in a positive light instantly.
So
But in a
extreme car
way,
crash
people,
so extreme car crash survivors, just right place, right time.
well, they got that is like, yeah,
I mean, technically, yeah, they were in the
they
right
were in
place
the
at the right
wrong
time. They
place at the
swerved at the
right
right moment.
time.
Yeah, they swerved at the right moment, or something happened and it just saved them just enough.
But I think that's the wrong place, the right time. But in the sense of
Okay.
bad luck as well, it's you're in the right place at the right time for what was to happen. But bad luck could also be in a it's something you have to experience for something you may not realize was actually good luck until later. So it could be perceived as like a lesson that you had to learn, that maybe like if you wouldn't have learned that lesson, you wouldn't be where you are now.
So you think
So like
bad luck is like missed opportunities that you have to come to with the reality of because you weren't
maybe
prepared enough for it, something like that? You think like,
it
oh,
could
your
be.
decisions
It
in
could,
life have
yeah.
led you up to this moment, which created this, good or bad, and so
It could be. And typically people who experience bad luck are also, like you're saying, like weren't aware of the opportunity at that moment or weren't prepared, so they had to learn that. And lessons in life are repeated or learned, or like you experience them negatively until you learn from them. So
yeah,
people who are always doing new things or trying things or ambitious or whatnot
or
typically
handsome
also
or named Anthony. Keep going.
Or all typically also tend to experience a ton of bad luck because they're doing a lot of things. To be able to have a bad luck, you have to have new experiences. So, like, in a way, if you're always experiencing bad luck, you're also getting more experience in life and becoming more knowledgeable that could help you later in life. So maybe that bad luck is actually good luck, but you just haven't hit the point in your life yet where you can actually be at the right place at the right time with the right knowledge. And
Or to
maybe,
see it as good luck, like Orc says, it's a
yeah,
perception thing where you interpret it as
Again,
bad
it's
luck.
all
Yeah,
perception. It's
yeah, that
all
makes sense.
perception based.
I'm just thinking of the guy that got hit by lightning like 7 times. How he could have turned that into something positive.
I don't know about that one. That's I think that's unlucky.
I
I've
think God
actually
sending a message and it's not being heard.
did I ever
And then
tell
it,
y'all the story about how I got hit by lightning?
No, wait, what?
Yeah, so like I
How
had
old
a
were you?
cousin. I was in high school, and what's funny is 2 weeks earlier, my cousin who lived three doors down
Yeah,
was hit by lightning sitting in his living room. Was
wait,
sitting in his living room, the lightning came into the house,
through a
through
window?
the window and
Okay.
struck him sitting on the couch.
Damn.
Like, that is
Damn.
some that's some luck, and then he
That's
was in a
spite.
coma for a week.
Yeah, that's spite. He
he
pissed
must have
some.
been
Yeah,
the only metallic thing in that building.
I don't know, and then a few weeks later,
Taking
we
too many
had another
supplements.
bad storm, and I went outside in the middle of the storm
Like a smart person.
because
Yeah.
the gutter on the house broke and was throwing water all over the patio and up against the side of the house.
Okay.
So I went out there to fix the gutter, and when I grabbed that gutter, lightning struck above my head on the gutter, and I could feel it go through my hands, through my arms, down my body to my feet, and I fell out on the ground.
Oh, so you were just a conduit. You would.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just a conduit. It didn't hit me directly.
Okay, that's yeah. No, it's still you still got hit by lightning. Just yeah, just not directly. Damn. No, you
Yeah.
never told us that.
Oh, that, and I fell down, and my whole body hurt like instantly, and I was just screaming.
Yeah, no,
And
I bet.
then people came out the house and wondering what's going on. I was like, I've just been hit by lightning. And they're like, no, you did not. And then turned around and walked back in the house.
Didn't see it. Do it again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
If we didn't
let's
see it,
do
it
it
didn't
again.
happen.
Um, and then they found out later that like couple weeks prior, the cousin had been hit by lightning and was actually in a coma. So then they're like, oh, so this can happen.
Yeah. Dang. So what did you learn? What did you do
I
wrong?
learned don't go outside and try to fix gutters during storms.
There
Don't
you
do that.
go. There you go. Your whole life built you up to that moment of making decisions
Yeah,
like that.
just don't do that. And I strongly believe I have this underlying power I've yet to like experience. So I'm
It hasn't
hoping like
emerged yet. It's just laying in your cells dormant.
yeah, like Spider-Man or like how the Hulk and all them like eventually the powers came out. I'm just waiting for that to happen.
Real life static shock. Okay.
Learn that thunder and lightning aren't so frightening.
There you go.
Um, if you
Pajama Sam.
yeah, serious question. It, I don't think this applies to any of us. But if someone's afraid of thunderstorms, they get struck by lightning and live, you think they like no longer care about being outside in thunderstorms?
They're probably more scared of it because they're like,
I
it
feel
doesn't
like
just
yeah,
not everyone doesn't get hit by lightning once in their life, and we're just waiting for it to be our day. No, that's like a rare occurrence. So if they're
But that's what I'm saying. Is
feared
like
of it and they get hit
I've
by it,
been
they're
through the
like, I
worst
am
of it.
being. They're like, nature is targeting me. I don't know what I did in a past life to piss off Mother Nature, but she's not happy with me.
yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think it would help them if they got hit by lightning because they probably don't know anyone in their life that's been hit by lightning. Anthony's the first that I just learned that I know someone who's been struck by lightning and just their family just walked it off,
I
as
have a
if that's normal for
coworker.
him.
I have a coworker. I haven't says he has some way to prove it. I haven't really followed up on it. Apparently, on 3 different occasions over a span of like 5 years, he's been hit in the head while driving on his golf course. He's been on the golf course, driving on the golf cart, and got hit in the head with a golf ball 3 different times.
Damn. And so that's
I
bad luck.
wouldn't go golfing no more. I'd be like, fuck that. I'd wear one of those umbrella hats on my head to
Yeah.
protect my head, or a hard hat at that point.
That makes it sound like it's coming from above. No, one of them hit him in the cheek, just like
From the side,
straight.
yeah. He's got to have the plastic
have one
side
of those,
protectors.
Those
Side
A
martial
guards.
arts
full-on
helmets with the
face
padding all
mask at
around.
that point.
Yeah.
That's bad luck. And what did he learn? Nothing. He still keeps driving out there.
Well, he said the last time it happened, he had his best game ever. So I don't know what he thinks about it.
He probably thinks it's a good opportunity. Gets the blood pumping, gets him focused. Nothing like almost losing a tooth to be like, all right, I can get this subpar. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, yeah, none of us seem to believe in luck. It's all about perception. Coincidences are, I guess, just a different version to look at that. They're kind of the same envelope as luck. You know, happenstances, coincidences, etc. I like the idea that Anthony brought up the subconscious, like, mind theory thing, because I think that does kind of play a part, or that's where the origin came from, was discussions about fate and destiny and luck and coincidences and stuff.
Well, think about it, to add to that subconscious mind theory. Just think, like, our brains, it's said that we don't use less than 10% of our
Well,
brain.
that's inaccurate, but
Or, like, well, we use a smaller percentage of our brain on the day to day than, like, we could. So, what
yeah, a
if
lot of brain
those,
functions are bodily maintenance, so they're constantly running. It's not like thought processing or
well,
memory.
yeah.
Yeah, but so we're not.
Well,
We're,
well,
probably the
think about
frontal
it.
cortex is not as active and fired up as it could be, but 10% of our brain, just throwing it out there so people aren't confused, is inaccurate. However, we probably are
What's a
not using
correct
as much of our
percentage?
brain power as we could to remember stuff, learn things, etc., like Anthony's trying to say. I'm just
But with us not using every bit of our brain at a given time, what if there's an underlying, like, ability that people who may have high intelligence or may be lucky to have the higher level of activity that are able to connect with that subconscious mind that then connects to people around them? So
are you talking
it's
like
just a
psychics?
thought. I don't know. That could be it too.
You're just talking in general?
What if psychics are actually just people who are connected to the frequency to be able to connect with other people? They've learned how to use that ability that's already there. Maybe they're not psychics, or like some miracle power, as what people see it as, like a miracle that they can do that, but really they're actually just using their natural born um frequencies.
I mean, that kind of dives into the topic of, just body reading, just reading subtle movements of like eye twitching or pupil
Yeah.
dilation and being like, oh, this is sensitive to them. So that could kind of dive into that, but not everyone is really good at that or able to do that, but they can still have these shared experiences.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't quite know what to think.
It's
Um,
very interesting. This has carried on to a whole nother level.
we have
Oh,
transcended.
I think it's interesting how almost every conversation we do on this podcast goes into conspiracy theory.
Oh, it's
It
fun.
is.
It's fun.
But it's also so easy to do.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
I feel like there's a level of truth behind conspiracy theories that people don't want to admit. I think it's a fear of a change in what they perceive as reality.
Yeah,
They don't want it to be real, because
Oh.
if it's real, then could be scary, because then we could embark on a whole nother level of different things in life that people aren't ready to deal with.
people knock conspiracy
point of
theories,
it-
but it doesn't have to be the extreme stuff. Like even minor things. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't. But like assuming something's a scam or scandal and like connecting the dots in the background of how something public image versus what they're doing in the background. Like, yeah, so this is a conspiracy. This is that kind of stuff. Conspiracies don't have to be extreme. Like, you know what, aliens and reptilians are running the government. But
The whole point of a
conspiracy,
conspiracy is to base it on a connection of facts that may not otherwise have a connection. You're
or may
filling
not
in
be
the
the
gap.
public perception or understanding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why it's based on some facts and truth. Is you got to have some sort of thread to work off of. And be like, see, right here, this is
Like
the evidence to pull
right
you
at the
in.
beginning when Anthony was like, yeah, some animals, they communicate on a frequency or wavelength that we can't perceive, and they have a shared communication system outside of their vocal system. Yeah, that's the same thing. There's a basis, and it's like, why can't this be applied to other animals, or how did it develop, or how does it work? That kind of stuff. Yeah. Um, I don't know, Anthony. You have a bunch of bad luck. That's
He
all.
thinks he
Yeah, I've
does.
got nothing
He
else to
thinks he
say.
does.
Yeah,
No.
I have a bunch of bad luck. I just hope and pray that one day it turns around and I see it as good luck that was keeping me from getting to the things I thought I wanted to
Yeah, it
finally
looks like
take me
bad
to the
luck, but a
things I
bunch of
want.
good luck was kicking in at just the right opportunity so it didn't get worse or so you could carry on.
Yeah.
I would argue it depends on the topic. Subpar luck for normal things like, oh, I just want to watch a movie, but, you know, for some reason the bucket of popcorn gets dropped on me or something like that, even though I'm not doing anything to warrant that.
Oh my God. Speaking of popcorn, I hate to interrupt, but did I ever tell you about the time, like, in the middle of a scary movie, I didn't scream at the scary movie. I screamed because it was raining popcorn on me. Did
Because
I
of
ever tell you all about that
No,
story?
I thought you were going to say because the couple next to you was kissing. That would have been funny.
Oh my God. I'm there in the scary movie
And they're just
and
making out,
something
yeah.
happened and I didn't scream because of the movie. I screamed because out of nowhere I was getting pelted with all kinds of stuff all over me and I didn't know where it was coming from.
Wait, pelted like they were targeting you, or like it just dropped on you from behind you because someone
So
just
the
got spooked?
kid in front of me jumped so
Oh, in
hard
front of you.
that he threw his entire large bucket of popcorn over his head. Like he
Dang.
jumped and his hands went up in the air and it threw his popcorn over his head and it hit me.
And you didn't see
So
that, but you got scared by it?
I didn't see it because it was so dark at that moment in the
It
movie.
was in your
And
peripheral. Okay,
he was
yeah.
still busy kissing his date. That's why you didn't see it. Yeah.
Yeah. It
No, I wasn't kissing nobody.
was in your
Um,
peripheral. I got you. You were focused on the movie, but you caught a glimpse of it, but didn't
but
process it. Yeah.
it was dark in the movie and I could feel stuff hitting me and I couldn't see it because at that moment in the movie it was dark.
I
It
like,
was like those jump scares. And then next thing I know when it got bright in the room, I had popcorn all over me.
jeez.
That is some bad luck. And it was buttered popcorn and I had
Yeah.
butter all over me. My clothes were
Ugh.
ruined. And the kid
Ugh.
I looked down in front of me and the kid after it happened looked down in his bucket and I saw his jaw drop and he turned around and looked at me and then turned back slowly and then ducked down in his seat.
Oh, that kid. Yeah, he didn't forget that. I'll tell you that much. He's like, I threw popcorn on someone. That reminds me when we went to see Paranormal Activity. I think you were with us with Noodles, because Noodles used to not watch scary movies at all. Now he watches everything because we got him hooked on that. But originally he was so easily terrified. We were sitting at the top row, and I forget
The
what.
row against the wall.
Yeah, it was a Paranormal Activity movie. Start in the final act. You know, a bunch of the jump scares are happening, and one of them, I looked over at Noodles just before the jump scare could happen because it was kind of predictable. And I looked at him and I watched the popcorn go from his lap to the bottom of the bucket went eye level to him, and all the popcorn jumped up. And most of it went back in the bucket, but it landed. But he tossed the bucket
That's
up. I don't know why we let him hold it, because we
he loaded it with salt.
yeah, we knew he was going to be jump scared a lot because he doesn't like scary movies. So I don't know why we let him hold the popcorn, but it was funny. But I
Also, I remember during that same movie at a later scare, he actually was just sitting on top of the chair, like his feet where his butt used to be, and his butt was now where his head used to be. It just sitting on the top of the top row.
um, but yeah, to do a callback. So Anthony, what did you learn that you did wrong at that movie theater to get covered in popcorn?
I I didn't do anything wrong.
He
There
picked
was
the wrong
nothing to
seat. He
learn.
picked the
Picked the
wrong
wrong
seat.
seat. You never pick B-15. Now you know.
That was true bad luck. Like true bad luck right there. Like there was nothing I could have done differently. Like
Wear a poncho. Come
yeah,
on.
wear a
I
poncho
go
to
to
the
every
movie
movie with
theater.
ponchos now. Ever since what was it? 50 Shades of Grey was in theaters. I go to every movie with a poncho now.
What?
He's, he's making a wet joke.
What happened in 50 Shades of Grey that you have to wear a poncho now?
As a joke about what 50 Shades of Grey is about. The also just as a sidebar, I made a joke with my college roommate at the time because him and his girlfriend went to go see it. I told him, make sure you bring your ponchos. You don't know how the rest of the audience is going to take the movie.
They could
So
get too
since then,
excited.
yeah.
Oh my God.
A wet
That
joke.
is so disgusting. I like I
Now,
will
what did you
never
learn?
think of
You
that
learned to bring
movie
a
the
poncho.
same way. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have an awful image in my mind
Good.
of a movie theater right now.
Yeah, because you also used to work there, so imagine cleaning it.
Uh, You know what's bad? Like people used to do so many crazy things in the theater. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
The number of people I caught having sex in a theater is ridiculous.
I can't believe people would spend money.
Yeah, especially with the ticket prices and the concession prices, and then you're
Yeah.
going to go there and have sex around other people.
And then waste their money like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
It just needed a dark room to go to for it, I guess.
They have to pay for someone to turn the lights off. Okay.
So when you find that happening, would you consider that bad luck?
I don't know.
Or is it a life lesson? Is it good luck? Because you could have been
What
sitting
could you
next
have
to him.
done? What could you going with the same train of logic? What could you have done differently?
Yeah.
I couldn't have. I think that's bad luck. I think that's unfortunate that I had to walk up on some of these people.
Excuse us. Can you wait till the final act?
Yeah, wait until a few more people leave the auditorium. Do it during the credits, please.
Do it during the commotion when everyone's clapping. They can't tell the difference. Anyways, so along that same line, some things we're lucky, some things we're unlucky about in life. I hope your luck turns around. Karma, because that kind of falls in the same envelope of coincidences, luck. Oh well, there's good luck and there's bad luck. What is your perception on karma, Auric? Do you believe in karma? We'll start with that. Just yes, no.
I guess in the most loose sense of the term, I would. I guess it might help to make sure we
Okay.
consensus what we mean by karma before we go forward.
Anthony, do you believe? I can look up a definition real quick. Do you believe in karma?
I don't.
Just make sure we're all talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
I try to just for the sense of the thought of karma possibly being real, but part of me is like, I don't know.
So
Like
yeah, it comes from Hindus and Buddhists. According to the dictionary on Google, it says the sum of
We're
a
talking
person's
about that kind. Okay.
the sum of a person's actions in this and previous states of existence viewed as deciding their fate in future existences. That's a little bit different. I think what more people refer to or think of when they hear karma is everything's going to balance out. You're not going to have any more good than bad in your life. That's how I understand karma. Do you guys see it the same way? Where it's like, oh, you have something really lucky, something really bad will happen to you before you die or die
Oh, I don't
early.
know about
Or an
that.
accumulation of small bad things to equal out that one
Everything would
good
balance
thing.
out at neutral, balanced as
Or
everything should be.
someone wins the lottery and it changes their whole life because now they have all this money, and then over the next 20 years, everything about their life is horribly
Then they go
upended.
bankrupt in 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of karma.
When I
Okay.
say karma, yeah, that's the definition I'm thinking of, like balance. So if someone steals from the bank, then something's gonna happen. They'll go to jail or they'll have an equal punishment kind of stuff. Do you not agree with that, Anthony? It sounds like Orc does. Or
I don't know.
do you imagine like the original definition of karma with the Hindu Buddhist belief?
I don't know. That is a very difficult
Because that kind of goes in play
perception
with
of it.
luck. Like some people have bad luck and some people have good luck, and if you have the
Well, you know
opportunities
what?
with
If you have bad luck now and then you get good luck later, maybe all this bad luck is truly amounting to something great later for me.
yeah, or
That's
like
a good way to put it.
or
That gives me more hope.
people that like
That's karma.
people
That's
that peak
karma.
in high school. Their favorite years are in high school, and their next like 10, 20 years are miserable because they're like, oh, I
Oh
wish
shit, I've
like
seen
is
The
that.
like
next
is
60
that
are
karma?
miserable.
Is that karma where they're living high and mighty and they're not taking opportunities to set themselves up later, and so they feel like it's lackluster, but that's because their value system was different years prior from what it is now. So perception, etc. You know, I look at it as like a neutral state. Your life, like your body, is trying to maintain homeostasis, is trying to stay neutral, is trying to stay, um, not deadly in terms of
Homeo.
potency of acids and stuff. What is it? HPC or something. pH. It's trying to stay pH leveled and everything and hydrated, etc. I assume that applies to the aura or the energy around us and in life. We're trying to maintain a stable balance. Like when we get high, when we get high and excited on stuff, we want to take time to crash and unwind and not do anything, and vice versa. We're constantly trying
Yeah.
to maintain this equilibrium state of life. So I see karma as just the universe trying to maintain balance.
Hmm.
Do I believe in it? Not really.
The way I
You
approach
went
it,
on all that long and then you say that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's
the way
that's how
I
I understand karma. I see it as the balance. So in Hindu and Buddhist, they also believe in past lives and everything. So if you committed a serious sin in a past life, you might suffer. To your advantage in a past life, you might suffer in your next life. But it assumes that it's going to balance out eventually. Some of parts. Do you not agree with that? You don't have to. I'm just curious. Do you think of karma as a balanced state or as something else? Up
I like to
questions for
believe
either of
I
you.
don't know.
I like to believe in karma in the loose sense because it's fun to look at someone in a situation in the moment and say that's bad luck, that's bad karma,
Yeah.
and have a reason to say that.
I mean, the
Do I
phrase
believe that
karma will get
everything?
to them
I
is a
don't.
phrase.
If there is such a thing as karma, I don't believe it's equally distributed. There's people that again live nothing but a miserable life. I mean, I guess in a grand scheme of the whole subconscious, the whole species being on the same subconscious level, it balances out. You got some people with nothing but good lives and some people with nothing but bad lives. But to just take it from an individual to individual approach, yeah, one person can be born, both parents die, they're an orphan, they got all the problems going on with the rest of their life growing up, and they never really get better.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got um, when you look at it on a case by case basis, it's hard to argue
Of
that there is
course.
such a thing as karma. You have to look at it from a holistic approach.
Well,
Of
that's kind of how karma works. Is all things are balanced. So
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I was saying is if you're looking at karma, kind of like you look at luck, like this person, their fate, they got lucky in this situation. But if you're looking at karma, you can't say this person has bad karma if that's just the standard for their life. You have to compare it to some other threshold.
okay,
Opposed to luck, luck can be singular. It can be tied to a single person, single instance, and say good bad luck based on whatever brought them to that
based on the
situation.
opportunity and time situation, like we discussed
Exactly.
earlier. Okay,
Karma has
I
to
was
have
kind
a
of
point of
thinking.
comparison.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking during that discussion that you just had, or statement you just had. I was thinking karma was kind of like the
Discussion with
opposite of
myself,
luck.
let's be
Yeah,
honest.
I was thinking karma was kind of like the opposite of luck, where it's like, oh, they have bad luck, or they have really good luck that they got away with this. Karma's going to catch up to them. It's like seen as the opposite, but those are two different holistic ideas versus, I guess, a more individualistic perception. Anthony, your thoughts? Do you just did you just never think of karma in that sort of like scale balancing mindset, or because I'll be honest, I forgot what you said you thought of karma when we asked you for a definition.
And like I thought, like your definition makes sense of like you'll get a bad luck and then good luck later, or vice versa. It's
Mm-hmm.
good luck and bad luck later. I thought of it in the sense of like you give good, you're gonna get good back.
Okay.
Like simply, like I went out of my way for people at work, like people I never wanted to lose, my best assistants, went out of my
Oh
way to
yeah.
help them get a position that they wanted within the company. And my doing of that, like I could have easily just not done anything, but like I figured the way I saw it was I would want someone to do the same for me if there was somewhere I wanted to get in the company.
Pay it forward. Yeah.
Um, and honestly, recently I had some people help me like get to where I want to get into the company. But at the same time, I feel like it would have still happened even without them because I had already built a network and experience that would have sold me on it. But I think I still believe that them helping me got me there.
Okay.
So I strongly believe like me helping that person get to where they want it to go helped me get to where I want it to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So would you argue that you're able to influence your luck? Because if you're doing it with the intention of getting good luck later on, or the anticipation of it, is that really for the right intention as opposed to just getting lucky in the situation?
That is a good point too. I don't know. I don't think it's wrong because it's still like, okay, let me do something for this person. But that
Well,
is
let me rephrase that. Would it still be
Ooh, you
luck
got
if
loud.
you're
Hold
taking?
on, hold on. You just spiked my ear. What? Say that again.
What I was saying was, let me rephrase that. Would it still be luck if you're taking steps to actively lay out a new possible future, a new path? Is
Sa-
that still luck, or is that just you merging your line of fate towards a different track?
well, that's what we
Um,
said luck was, wasn't it? He's setting up opportunity. He's setting up him.
well,
setting
He's
up
preparing
opportunity.
himself for opportunities,
yeah,
and that
but
can take.
well, I thought I might have misheard. I thought we said luck was just being able to recognize the opportunity available at the instance it occurs and to act on it, not setting up the instance to occur, because
Well, you
then
have
it's
to be
pre-planned.
prepared to seize an
Well,
opportunity.
being prepared is different from
So maybe
setting up the
they're not even
situation.
they're two different topics though, aren't they? Luck and karma, they're similar, but there's still a difference.
They're different because I think what you said earlier helped clarify that for me. You're like, oh, I want to do good, and good will come back to me because that is kind of like karma. Like people who do bad, everyone expects bad to happen to them.
Yeah.
Like life will balance back out because they just, for their own selfish reasons, they got something, and hurt others. Typically, something like that. Luck is definitely, I guess, more of an individual, like we said, preparedness for an opportunity. In the moment, you can recognize an opportunity and you have stuff ready to seize the opportunity. Otherwise, you'll miss out on it. Like the old cliche, like the old phrase or whatever that famous quote is from. Um, what was your question, Ulrich? What are you confused?
It's not so much as confused as I guess posing a philosophical question. Is
Okay.
if you're engineering a future scenario, is that really luck then? Because it's not you being responsive to a situation; it's something that you designed
Well, that would
to
be
act
bad
in that.
luck because you can't take advantage of it. And isn't that what? Isn't that how that works?
That's what I'm asking.
Okay. Yeah, I would just consider that bad luck because you just weren't prepared enough, or you didn't recognize the opportunity in the moment and you missed it. Even if you were prepared, you just like weren't paying attention, or went over your head, or you got hit by a car. I don't know. I don't know. I've never truly put in too much effort thinking of karma and luck on the same spectrum, so I don't know why I posed that question because I was unprepared to answer it. um, yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've kind of gone in circles in my own head with karma and luck right now with what you guys have been saying, because I like confused myself. Then you guys made me understand better, and now I'm confused again. I got to sit this one down. Shower thoughts later. All right. Anthony, any final thoughts on luck, subconscious mind theory, karma, whatever? Has anything clicked today, or are you just more confused like me a little bit?
I think I don't think I'm confused because this is something I've personally like thought about
Yeah.
quite a bit. I think it just brings full circle that other people are thinking about like similar possibilities in this life as well. Um, so it's very weird to think about. It goes back to what we were saying earlier. It's like one of those things that's too weird that people don't want to accept it, but it's weird enough that people still want to talk about it because you can't help but identify a pattern.
Everyone
Like,
recognizes it, that it's something weird. We have words for it that everyone understands what those words mean. It's not like, even without knowing the exact definition of a word, everyone's like, yeah, I have a general gist of understanding of what karma is, of what luck is, what a coincidence is, even though we can't really test that stuff scientifically. Yeah, everyone just kind of collectively recognizes it, but we can't test it or confirm it or deny it. Yeah, I get what you're
yeah.
saying. Yeah. Anything else? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was just
No, that's
rephrasing it for my own
really
understanding.
it. It's really it. Now you know someone who's been hit by lightning.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I
I
totally
just
forgot about
hope
that. That was like 10 minutes ago, and I totally forgot you said that.
I really hope my powers come to play here soon because I've always been curious as
I'll,
to what
I'll,
they are.
I'll be Aquaman and shoot water streams, and you can shoot lightning through them. And we'll just hydroplane people. Um, Orc, your final thoughts? Anything you didn't get to say or thought of, I guess, or anything?
I just like how in Anthony's closing remark, he talks about how he finds it interesting so many other people are thinking about the topic too, or have put so much thought into the topic. And again, everything Anthony ties back to is that human subconscious wavelength theory. You just can't get away from the conspiracy theories. I don't know if that's good or bad luck. I'll leave it at that kind of ironic statement.
Nah, it's all good.
Just focus on Anthony. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah. No, that's I was not expecting in my life that I'd ever hear you say you were hit by lightning, especially when we're talking. I mean, context, luck would be a good reason to discuss that scenario, but
Or maybe it is the prime reason I've had so much bad luck. Maybe I'm just screwed up after
you
that.
just got
Yeah,
hit.
no,
You
the
got hit by a
lightning was the
bad
good
lightning
luck.
bolt. You got hit by an evil
The,
lightning bolt. Yeah.
well, the lightning was the good luck. He got a lot of good luck out of that. So now the karma's balancing him out with a
Oh
bunch
yeah,
of
that's
bad
what it
luck.
is. He's
Oh, yeah, now the bad luck has to come because karma happened.
yeah, like
Exactly.
God
You
took a
gotta
sip of his
balance
tea
out.
and he's like, shit, he wasn't supposed to get hit. Fuck. Um,
Let's slow his ass down and make his life
slow his
miserable for a
roll. He's
while.
making too much progress. He just burnt his tank. Um, all right. Well, with that,
I love the idea of good luck lightning.
yeah, good luck and bad luck lightning. Yeah. Ooh, that's a purple cloud. Yeah. Well, with that, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us on the Unfiltered Pineapple Podcast. Follow us on our socials. Comment. Reach out to us. Tell us what you think about luck or karma. Final words or thoughts, gentlemen? Oh, yeah, this is Dean, joined by Oric and Anthony again.
Share your stories in the comments below. See you next time.
Yeah, let me hear some lightning
If you've
stories.
been hit by lightning, please contact us.
Like, I want to see how many other people out there have been hit by lightning. Like, that would be cool.
You are the first person in my entire life I've heard say that.
And let us know if it's good lightning or bad lightning that
Yeah,
struck you too.
if something
Did
good
you
happened
get
after that
any?
or bad luck, yeah.
Yeah, did you get any powers from it? What can you do now?
Do you have a Twitch? Like a physical Twitch? Did you have good luck or bad luck? All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for joining, everyone.